tu fais? Good morning, everyone. Today is March 1st. I am so happy about it. I don't know how much I talked about it on this channel, but February to me is the worst. Freya, that's right. It seems like it's the longest month, and each year I start February like optimistic and stuff, and I'm like, this year I'm gonna make the best out of February. It's not gonna be too long. I'm not gonna complain about it. And then we make it to Valentine's Day, and then it's fine. And then February 15th, I'm like, oh my god, this is such the longest month. I just can't wait for spring. I am walking in my snowshoes right now. We have the most beautiful day. It is, I don't know, it was 9 Fahrenheit about 2 hours ago, which would be, I'm not good at this, which would be, I don't know, -5, let's say -5 Celsius, which for us is really not cold in this time of year. And the sun is super warm. Sorry. Let me show you. We didn't come for a few days, and there was about 6 inches of snow. But overall, I would say under all this, there is probably an average of 3 feet of snow. The funny thing is, since we know we live in a place where snow happens, we actually, like, have snow boots, have snowsuits, have snowshoes. We actually also pay someone to plow our entryway. Oh, nice. My neighbor came and with his snowmobile and did my trail, but up to the trail I have absolutely no trail done. I'm sorry, you're not here to complain, to hear me complain. My dog is eating my feet and stepping on my snowshoes. But yeah, I have no idea if you see me well, because like I was saying, oh nice, he made some few trails. That is so cool. What I was saying is that the sun is so bright, is so warm, that we barely have any nice, I have new trails. We barely have any snow on the roof on the south side because it always melts. The sun is really, really warm, and yeah, it's really cool. So I have no gloves, I have no hat, but I do have some in my pockets. So when when you live in an area where snow happens, you just get ready for it. But I don't need to explain that to you, because you're not stupid and you're not 4-year-olds. So my neighbor came and did some circles around, which I'm really happy about, because when we have temperatures like that, snow does melt, but the hard crust on top of the snow too. So even if I come quite often in my wood with my snowshoes, I just end up really, really deep. It's not as bad, of course, as if I never came, but when he comes with his snowmobile, whatever, it just makes it a lot easier for me. So let's just see what's this area. This is a place that we come a lot during winter and fall and spring, not so much in the summer, because we do enjoy our yard there, but it becomes, actually, I do not blame anyone else but me, because the truth is I'm afraid of bees, not bees, but wasps and bumblebees and insects like that. I know everything I need to know about them, so there is no need to tell me that there was snow in my pants. There is still snow in my pants. It's just less and less snow. Okay, so what I was saying, I know that if I don't bug them, they won't sting me. I know, I mean, I read about them so much to help me not be scared of them. I'm a lot less scared than I used to be. It's getting in weird places. But I'm not scared much of bees, and it seems, it's ridiculous, I know, but it seems to be even better right now here, because I know my neighbors have bees, so I'm like, oh, it's the neighbors' bees, oh, and I'm like, somehow they're less scary. But I don't care much about bees, because they don't come and like bzzz around you and like bzzz around your eye, and just, you know, bees are not that bad. It's really hornets and these kinds of insects. And yeah, to be honest, our four-wheeler is a really old four-wheeler. It was actually my grandpa's. I think he bought it sometime in 1992. It was my grandfather's, then my parents, and then my parents gave it to me. Sold it to me for a very low price. Let's say they gave it to me. But it's really, really old. It doesn't function really well. Some of the kids are still scared of getting on it. So I have no problem coming in here when we come often with the four-wheeler and just have our trail, but it gets with so much weeds and stuff. I'm always scared to walk on a hornet's nest or something. And it's even worse with the kids, because some of my kids are scared too. Don't worry, I'm trying not to pass my fear on them. I'm perfectly able to control myself around them. I try to not show that I'm scared of them, but still some of my kids are scared, and it's like now I have 6 bodies. So they have 6 bodies to wander around now. So I just don't have to watch myself. I now have to watch my kids, and if one is around my kids, I just get as scared as I am when they're around me. But on top of that, I have to take care of it. If a hornet is like wandering around one of my kids' face, I won't let it be just like I am when it's my husband, because he's not scared and he's responsible for himself. But when he's there, he takes care of it. He's like, oh, and he's really not scared. And I've never been stung, and I'm not even scared to be stung. That's the weird part. But I'm making a really long story short to say that this place where I'm sitting at, where my bum is really getting really, really cold from the inside and the outside right now, and it's gonna get worse with my puppy behind me, is a really nice place. This is actually a platform, a wooden platform the last owners did. They wanted to make a teepee on it, but she said that when they realized the cost of an actual teepee, she decided to just do yoga on it. But I really love the idea of the teepee. I just don't like the idea of spending thousands of dollars for a teepee, but I have all those plans that I know I won't be able to make maybe in the next 10 years, because this is a fun thing. I mean, I was thinking maybe I could, we have some dead trees, and maybe I could make a teepee somehow, or just make the structure to have a little wood stove in there. Our neighbor actually has that, a little outside. That's cold. Trying to cover myself down there, but seems like I'm not helping. Yeah, they have that. They have the little wood stove and they sleep in there. It seems really, really nice. My kids go there and play cards with them. It's really cool. We have this tree. Coming back to talk about the sun, because what I wanted to say is the sun is so bright that I can't see myself on the screen, so I don't know how you can see me. But we have a tree here that has fallen like maybe 2 weeks after we moved in. I was like, man, that sucks. I want to move it, but it actually, the top of it has fallen on the platform, and the kids really love to walk on it. And when I talked about moving it or cutting it or whatever, they were like, no. And I was like, why on earth would I move it, since the kids love it? And I'm all there thinking about ways to improve our yard, to have the kids be able to play, and the garden, and all these things. And now I have a natural thing that happened. The kids love it, so I'm just gonna leave it there. We have a little bridge here, because during spring some water accumulates there, and it's a little I forgot the word. Oh, it's cold. There's water flowing there, so we have a little bridge there, and we have a ton of wood there, but it's just like all the wood that the old owners scratched. And yeah, I'm trying to find ways to bring them back to the house to be able to use them, but like I'm sorry, I'm just trying to talk about multiple things at the same time. But since our four-wheeler doesn't work that well, it's not always working, and when I end up that I'm thinking about doing this or doing something here, like it's full of herbs because we didn't come for weeks with the four-wheeler, and I'm scared of bugs, like I was saying. So, and we have so many things going on, like in our regular lives. Our kids are full deep into sports, so that's a lot of time. We love it. I'm not complaining about it. It's just part of our life, and the rest of the time is normal life. You know what I hate is when people try to tell me or tell anyone how busy they are more busy than everyone else they are. They're not. Some of them are, but everyone's busy. And not, first of all, it's not a contest who's busier, but if it were, I don't think I would lose. I would not necessarily win like the first prize, but I don't think I would lose when someone tells me that they're so busy because they have a garden and they have to plant the garden and they like enumerate everything they have to do, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, so many people do that. So what I'm saying is that we have a busy life, but we have 24 hours in a day like anyone else. We decide to spend it the way we want. So I'm really busy, but so are you. Some are not. There's been time in my life where I was not busy at all, but I think I was acknowledging that. I think most people are really busy. We have to choose what we do with our time. So, that being said, I'm not trying here to win a contest about who's busier. But we're busy, and when we have time to do projects, I mean, I have so many projects for the garden for years to come. There are some things that I planned that I thought I could do last summer, and I could not even start it. I was highly overestimating my capacities. And what is up with that tree? We have a dead tree that's cracked, and my dog is like really, really enjoying sniffing it. Maybe there's something living in it. I don't know. You can tell I'm someone that's having a really hard time focusing. We have the chicken coop, and yeah, so the things I thought I could do last summer, I could not even start. I started a little bit during fall, and the time it took me, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do it this summer either. I mean, I'm trying to be realistic. I'm gonna do as much as I can, but I don't want to spend this summer like last summer, like just rushing, and thinking about what is not done, what I want to be done, and not even seeing what I have done. Because last summer, I actually built almost by myself. My husband helped. Why? So my husband helped me build the 10 raised beds we had, but after that he filled a few things here and there, but I did most of the work, because when I was doing the work he was actually working or taking care of the kids. So, but the summer went on, and it seems like I did not realize what amount of work I did. And after maybe in August, I looked at it and I was like, man, there was only grass here like a few months ago. And then I had 10 raised beds with mulched with wood chips between all the rows and plants everywhere. And I was like, yeah, I worked my ass off. So I want to be able to see that earlier this year and enjoy it, instead of trying to, like do everything I can to complete the vision I have right now. I'm someone that have a really hard time waiting and not having my ideas done right now. I'm the kind of person that has a really hard time waiting to plan. I like to plan, but once my plan is done, I want to do it like right now. Maybe that's why I feel February is so long, because January was not that bad, and when it comes to gardening, I was not so eager to start my seeds, for example. But I did start this little permaculture course on Udemy. And then I had a ton of ideas, and now I just can't wait for the snow to melt, because I just want to do it. Thankfully, I live where I live, because maybe if I was in a place where there's actually no snow and that I could work on my space for most of the year, I would not have time to think about it. Now my bum is getting really, really cold. I need to stand up and feel how it's gonna flow down there when I stand up. And we'll get back into the house because I thought I was having a long walk, but my dog just ran around and she didn't stop a second, because dogs need to run. They need to have people take care of them. So we're gonna walk home, and I might just explain to you what my next plans are a little bit, because I'm getting really, really cold in some places. So I'll make a stop here to explain a few things. I know I have a lot of new subscribers recently, and not necessarily all of you went back to my old videos to check out. So these are trees that the old owners planted. They are gonna get as big as I can't see my screens, so you see here there's a tree. I think the other side of the house is gonna become as big as that. It's the same trees. I'm not sure I like the idea, but they wanted some more privacy. I think I like the view to see way back there. So I was thinking at first to cut them all. I think what I'm gonna do, what I've decided to do is to wait. See, it's gonna be 2 years we're here. They were something like this high, and now they've grown so much. They grow really, really fast. So I'm not sure I want that, but I don't want to regret this, to cut them all and then regret it. So I decided to let them grow, see how it goes, see if I have more ideas of what to do with this, if I want to keep them when they're bigger or anything like that. I did cut a few here because this is gonna be my orchard. I have a few trees along here on this side of the greenhouse. But so I did cut a few here. I'm gonna see how it is. I'm thinking best case scenario, I love it and I leave it like that. Worst case scenario, they're big and we cut them and we have a lot of wood to work with. So I don't really care. These are some hay balls that they left here. He was actually doing some archery, which is something we plan to do sometime soon. So he was practicing there. This space here, let's split the space in three. The first third way back, there's nothing planned there for the archery spot and for the kids to play, because when we have kids we do plan some stuff for them in the yard. The middle part, the third here is going to be the orchard, and the middle part is actually really large, and I did plant some sort of maze done with logs, and I've been talking about it a few times. This video might just end up me sharing my plans. That's not what I planned, but I did plan to make a video about my garden plan. So I think that's what we're gonna do when we get inside. This is some sort of maze-ish garden. I want to be able to lose myself, not literally, but almost in it. There's the middle part between my actual garden here and the maze that I'm not sure what I want to do. I have so many ideas that do not necessarily fit with each other, but like I said, this maze is the part I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to finish this summer. If I am, good, but I still have a complete winter to think about what I want to do there, and I don't need to fill it right away anyway. If I do, good, but if I don't, I mean, that's it. I'm gonna go and see my apple tree, because I did order so many small trees. See, this one actually fell, and looks like it's not there. There are some spots on it. I did plant so many small trees that I'm not even sure what's left. There were so many weeds last summer that I'm not sure what's left in there. But this is my most vigorous apple tree. We can see there's a ton of new growth there, but I really need to prune it soon. And same thing with my plum tree. Freya, hey, t'es dans mes jambes? Tasse-toi. And same here with my plum tree here. This is going to be the chicken coop. Right now it really looks like a mess. I did actually this to have an idea of what it's gonna look like, because I was not totally sure. I'm gonna try and go there, I think. Let's see. See, that's my four-wheeler that I wanted to use during the winter, but it seems like it did not work. So this is the way I planned the chicken coop. The thing is, I have this idea that is, I don't even know if it's a good idea or not. I actually wanted to have the chicken coop sharing a wall with the greenhouse, so it could help produce some heat in the greenhouse. The thing is, with the way the roof is made, I could not. That's why I did put this plank here. I had to continue the roof this way so the snow does not stay stuck. But it ends up being really too low, because I wanted to be a few feet elevated for me to have an easy access when there's so much snow. So I ended up leaving a few feet so the snow could accumulate between the two. I think it would work, seeing what I see right now, but I'm not sure, because then I'm gonna do the same kind of roof, this with the same angle but higher, to be able to stand in the coop. But what I wanted is to actually make some traps for the heat for the air to circulate, and maybe have these traps have some sort of thing that goes in the greenhouse to produce a little bit of heat. I know it's not gonna heat the greenhouse like in February, but I'm thinking in October or November, or even April and May, when it starts to get warm in there, but not enough to actually have some plants survive in there for during the night. Maybe I could have some cold hardy plants in there if I have some sort of ways. That's one of the things I planned for to heat the greenhouse. Now we can see the snow is really high. Soon you're gonna see me with my shovel and trying to open the door, because I'm gonna soon, maybe in a month, maybe I'm going to bring snow inside to actually put in the beds, to water these beds, and then put some compost and clean it first off, because I did not clean it. Now I deeply regret it. And this is gonna be the chicken run. I want the chicken run to start from the greenhouse up to my little trail there and be as deep as the greenhouse, but I would like to have 2 doors to be able to go through and have my chickens maybe run in the orchard once in a while. So that's about it for the outside part. We want to put a door on this side of the garage, because I have some shelves in there, and it would be so much easier for me to walk from there to the chicken coop this way when there's so much snow. I'm gonna only have to shovel, because you can buy shovels when there's snow. I'm just gonna have to shovel this way instead of all the way around the garage this way. So lots of ideas and plans. I don't know how many of them we're gonna be able to make this summer. And last thing, I was watching my trees. We have a lot of these nice trees, not these ones, but we have some bouleau. I was thinking these ones, but these are not the ones I'm talking about. I'm talking about the bouleau here. Maybe someone can tell me what's their name in English. Charlie! I'm not gonna go. Oh, I have one there. Because here there are people that say we can harvest maple water from our maple trees, but we really have to have the perfect winter for that. Freya, that's the perfect spring, I mean. Because our nights are too cold for the warmth of the day or something like that. But these guys, they produce some nice sugary water too, so I want to harvest some in a few weeks. I need to check out when we actually harvest these. So I'm back inside, and yeah, I gave me the urge to share with you my plans. So this is, I'm a very disorganized person in life. I'm very, very good to make plans. I just suck at coming back to them afterwards and following them. So I'm not trying to have grace for myself. I'm just trying to get better. I know this is something I suck at, but I still manage to live my life pretty well. So I'm just trying to get better. So this was my last year 2022 plans, and I did take a few notes, but I want to show you what it looks like, what I did, and I'm gonna talk about some of the lessons I learned. You can see I have some Roots and Refuge inspiration here. I always wondered why gardening channels were selling stickers until I ordered some and put some on my book. So this was the first time I was actually planning a garden seriously, and yeah, so I did not know how I wanted to do that. I did change a few things for this year, so I did calculate what I wanted. I'm not gonna go deep into each one of them. I'm just gonna show you. It is really dirty. I'm just gonna show you to show you what I did. I'm not saying it was good, because like I said, I did not follow this super well. A little bit though. But I did thought that I wanted 52 cans of pizza sauce, 100 of tomatoes, 52 salsas, and I wanted to have 1 pot of dehydrated tomatoes. So I thought I did calculate. I wanted 66 pounds of tomatoes for my sauces, 144 pounds for my just diced tomatoes, and 120 pounds for my salsa, and 20 pounds for my powder. So this was just to give me an idea. So I needed 350 pounds of tomatoes, so 35 plants, 20, was it that? Yeah, I thought, yeah, 35 plants, I don't know. I did plant overall 75 plants. I did want to make these beds are for sauce, Italian tomatoes, etc. But I did not do that. I just lost count of my tomatoes. It was a whole mess. I tried to plant them in succession, to seed them in succession, but it didn't work for tomatoes. But this is what my current garden looks like, except for these 2 beds. I did not manage to do these 2 beds. I did buy the bricks. I found some bricks on the Facebook Marketplace, and they were stuck together. We had plans to unstuck them and move them, and the day I wanted to move them was, like I said earlier, I suck at waiting. So I wanted to move a few of them. There were 4 of them stuck together. I tried to move them and I broke my back really, really hard. You know, the times something happens and you're like, I can't breathe, I can't stand up. My kid, with all the kids around me, what's wrong? What's wrong, Mama? You're okay. And I'm like, oh my God, leave me alone. And I barely was able to walk home. I had to find someone to fix my back the next day, and then I was a few weeks really, really having a hard time to move. So after that, my husband scolded me to wait for him next time. I'm kidding. He was mad at me for hurting myself for something as simple as having to wait maybe an hour for him to be done with work. He was not happy that I hurt myself, but he's not a man that scolds me. I'm not a child. But I loved the fact that I was not sure. Last year I did try. I wanted to. I'm really Roots and Refuge inspired, like I said. So I have no shame to say to look like I'm I'm mimicking her. I'm not trying to steal her ideas. I just love her garden and how she does things. I like to try them. So I did have a panel here, but I figured I don't like that. But I did use some old branches and small trees that were dead to do my. I'm gonna try to put some images to do like these the shape to be able to have some sort of cord or wires to have my tomatoes that I just turn around. I realized this is what I love because like I said, I'm a disorganized person. I always forget stuff. I'm getting better at it, but I'm trying to make it easier on myself to not have like, the thing is with the panel here, I was forgetting the things I needed to be able to attach my plants on the panel. While with the cords, I just needed to just twist it around while I was passing by. I loved it, and I completely loved the look that it did. So I did something like that for most of my veggies. And one of my notes here was stop being in such a hurry. I watch all these YouTubers that live, I mean, in South Carolina, even in Michigan, in colder parts, and they are just starting so much earlier than us, and it just kills me to watch them. So I was with this bed. I actually tried to cover my tomatoes. I did plant them sometime like in mid-May, which is about a month before I should plant them. I did cover them and take really good care of them, and did not die, they did not freeze, but it was so much work to end up not growing faster or not producing more. I thought, being my newbie brain, that they would grow, they would produce better or earlier, but no, they just stunted. And this bed here actually was the most producing one. So this is one of my notes. Stop trying to go too fast. And I did try to start them really early, to put them early in the greenhouse, and I ended up losing a lot of them. And in the end, I did not see any difference into the starts that I sowed like 12 weeks before my frost date, or 8 weeks, or 6 weeks. So I'm going to start my seeds on the lower end of what's recommended. So my tomatoes, it's recommended 6 to 8 weeks. So I'm gonna start them 6 weeks earlier. This is what I was talking about. This is my maze. This is my current garden. There is a huge space here between them. Like, I would say as big as the garden right now, maybe even bigger. But I did not draw it since there's nothing there. This is what I want to do. This is what I actually started to do, because I did put some logs, huge logs. You know, when you try to homestead, you try to actually reuse what you have. So I went in the woods. I still go in the woods, not right now because you saw the snow, but when I have the occasion to have a free log or free wood, I take it and I don't throw it away. I did use it to put, it's almost completely done. The barrier here it's not a raised bed, but it's a delimitation. I thought it would look pretty cool. I actually got the idea from multiple posts from Pinterest and some people on Facebook, because I want to feel lost in this. So these parts are going to be the parts where my veggies are planted, and we're gonna walk into this. So it is symmetrical. And I want to have an arch trellis between all that to look really nice. Now, with my permaculture course that I'm following right now, I've been thinking, I think I'm gonna put some trees somewhere into this, because the middle part here, and even here, it is it is not really easy to access from any point, because it's bigger than that. I tried to make it like 4 feet, but some of them are bigger than that. And I'm thinking if I put like maybe 1 or 2 trees here and maybe 1 or 2 here, not 2 here, I mean 1 here and 1 here, and maybe 2 or maybe 3 here, maybe 2. It's gonna add something to the layout. It's gonna look nice. It's gonna all work together. And I'm gonna have my orchard is actually here, and I have a nice band here all in front of my greenhouse that I just want to do nothing in there for now, because that's where we go we go like with the 4-wheeler back in the forest. So this is another, I did plan to plant peppers here, but peppers really do not work well here. I might try some a little bit outside in case we have a good summer. We do have summers with really, really hot days, but not every summer. And I'm talking about like 100 degrees and more. Sometimes it happens, but not all years. But if it happens, we might have a good yield, but these are gonna go more in my greenhouse. No way I'm spending that much space on peppers this year. Same thing with my celery. I'm gonna go faster with that because I'm not here to explain how it worked last year. Okay, so year 2023. I did not have, I did use another planner this year. So my goals for this year was grow the garden, first thing, have it like finish the 2 beds that I hurt myself doing last year, and starting my maize. But my maize, that's something I didn't say. I did start more seriously in fall last year. I did lay all the logs and tried to plant, and this summer I tried to plant, but I failed miserably. I did have a little bit of potatoes, but this fall I did all this space, and this space is right now covered with cardboard and mulch. And this is completely done with this up to here, because it doesn't look that big here, but it is really, really big. This is mulch with chips. So I know it's gonna grow at least of this, because this is ready to plant in it. But I'm gonna do my 2 beds too. Optimize my greenhouse. Did I talk about this? I'm going to learn about chickens. I'm doing that right now, and have a good or better fall garden, because I did not exploit the fact that we do have a pretty long fall here and that we can plant here. Stuff I want to change: better fall garden. It must be filled in August. So I really need to be able to cut my losses with the summer garden. When I'm done, and replace these with the fall garden crops. So more frost hardy crops. I need to make my grief about the summer garden earlier. Things I want to can and cook: salsa, spaghetti sauce, and pizza sauce. I'm gonna sure add potatoes in there, but I have to admit I like to improvise for the rest of the stuff. I know I can a lot of stuff, maybe some stews and stuff like that, but that's some things I like to do later in the fall, when I'm done with the more fresh stuff. Other things I want to grow: broccoli, kale, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, sunflowers, melons. If I can have 1 melon this year, it's going to be great. Beans, snap beans, carrots, potatoes, garlic, onions, and squashes. I forgot to mention, I think I'm done with this planner, because I did have this one, I'm not gonna try to give myself some credit over this. This is Oak Abode's planner. She presented it on her channel. If you don't know her, I love her. I love her just as much as Roost and Refuge. She talks a lot about chickens, but she did this garden planner that is sold on Etsy for a few bucks. I think it's not more than 10 or 12 bucks, and I loved how she did it. So she did put all these grid sheet in the beginning, so really convenient. One thing I didn't mention is that I did buy on the marketplace two, this is not on scale, it's really to give me an idea, but two 8 feet by 3 feet, I think, raised beds. So I did put them here, but I did not write them because right now my garlic is all in them. I did do a small in-ground spot here for last year. I tried for tomatoes, didn't do well because I did plant them late, but I'm still gonna try that. And here I have, well, my two beds are somewhere here, and here I did plant some raspberries. I wanted to do some sort of a little fence because here I have the kids' playground, and I would love to have the kids be able to snack on strawberries. They do love to go and grab some beans. So yeah. So last year I did have some beans here. Well, I did not think that so much, except again for the tomatoes, all again in the middle. I think it's gonna be fine. I did what I changed. I did move everything. This bed here, this bed here is gonna be cabbage because I didn't plan for tomatoes in there. I thought it would be convenient. It's not a super easy to work bed with both the arch trellis, but one thing I changed is that I did not focus. I did put half my arch trellis with beans and the other ones with cucumbers because I have no problem producing beans, and I think it's really nice. These are actually 5 beds. No, 6 beds. Not 6 beds. 6 trellises. There are mostly going to be snap peas because we love to snack on them. I have many varieties of them. And the ones we prefer that are like preserved and cooked are actually determinate. So I did put a few in new beds because they are nitrogen fixers, I think. So I want to rotate them properly. But I don't have that much. I have two spots here. I think I might change a few things. I think I probably did plant some beans somewhere else in here. We'll see that later. But cucumbers are producing fine outside, especially small cucumbers. But what happened last year is that I had one trellis of cucumbers, and they did produce like the small cucumbers were producing, but maybe 1, maybe 2 cucumbers at a time, and they're so small the kids wanted one for themselves, but we had to share, which, I mean, sharing is no big deal, but I would like to have them to have one each. So that's why I want many trellises to be able to have a few at a time at the same time. And I just realized I have a melon one here. I'm gonna try again this year for melons outside, even if it was really not successful. I did have 2 tiny melons like this in August last year, and everything died. I do have a complete side of cherry tomatoes. Not cherry tomatoes, ground cherry, because we love them. But we're gonna have some on the other side too. And I did plan my squashes here, and maybe by the side too of my beds here like I did last year, but I did plant them too late because what I have is also I have some grapevines on 6-grain vines by the side of these beds that are eventually gonna grow, so I'm gonna have to actually put some structure up there for these, but there's still some space. I want the squashes to be able to crawl everywhere. The other side I have my maize, but I didn't write anything on this side, so I'm probably gonna put some more beans for sure, and cherry tomatoes, and I'm trying to be realistic. I think I'm not gonna write anything. I know I'm gonna plant too much of everything, so probably when the time comes I'm just gonna go and improvise. Last year I did leave myself a free bed, a few 1 or 2 free spots, and I loved it because I always have too many plants, so I just could improvise on these spots. This is my greenhouse. I did mention it in earlier videos, but I'm gonna mention it again. Where I live, summers are really short and not so warm. The average night last year, I think they were 14 degrees Celsius, and the year before maybe 11. So when it comes to peppers and stuff like that, it really doesn't grow well. So, and last year was my first year trying to grow in my greenhouse, because I don't use my greenhouse to start seeds because it's way too cold in there. I really can't put some seedlings right now in there. Even in May, it's risky for some of them. I will for sure use it for seedlings of frost hardy crops in maybe the end of April and May, but nothing else. So I have a door here. The main entrance is here. I have some shelves here to work on, which currently are just a complete mess. I really need to do a trip to the dump to clean up this area. It's full of weeds. It's really messy right now, but one thing at a time. So I have these beds and this little bed in here. So I did buy some hybrid tomatoes, hybrid cucumbers for pickles for the greenhouse, to be able to actually produce. Because last year I had to buy my pickles and my tomato, maybe 50 pounds of tomatoes. I did harvest a good amount, but not enough. So I'm gonna see if I can try to like completely blow my production in the greenhouse for the 4 hard frost tender crops I want, so which are peppers, tomatoes, melons, and cucumbers. I do have some trellises at a few places around, so I'm planning on cucumbers for all this side, along with peppers for the inside of the bed. So these ones are going to be like against the wall. I have a few trellises on the other way around here, so I'm gonna plant melons there. I have a small area for hot peppers here because I want to cook hot sauce. This area here is really hard to reach, so I'm really perplexed about what I want to do there. But I'm gonna go ahead and try for melons. And same thing, cucumbers here and peppers there, and on this side cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers, and melons. This little area here, I did close this with chicken wire because I want to do a compost bin. I'm not sure how successful it's gonna be, but I'm thinking with chicken bedding, my goal is to have not only compost, but to have some other sort of heat in the greenhouse, so maybe this can help a little bit. And in the middle part here, I want to have 16 hybrid tomatoes. I do have all the space I need to plant 16 of them. along with a little bit of peppers on the at their base. So I'm really excited about that. Because I did have a lot of tomatoes and they all produced really well, but I did not focus on, this was more for fun. Now I want to, the fun, I'm gonna have it outside, because these are the things that I need the most. Tomatoes are really, we eat a lot of tomatoes in many shapes and forms throughout the year. So if I want to reduce the amount of store-bought things we have, tomatoes are really our priority, along with peppers. So really happy about that. Can't wait to try it out. I would like another project, I don't know if I'm gonna do it this year too, to buy some gravel, to put some gravel everywhere here, to have some sort of heat sink. And if you're following me for a while, one of my first videos is about actually recovering my walls with jars, not mason jars, but glass jars, all of the other kinds of glass jars. I'm thinking that if they all trap heat, if I have 1,000 of them, I'm gonna have 1,000 of them trapping heat. I can even like fill them with water, so the water could act as heat sinks to warm up the little pockets of air in each one of the jars, so the heat during the night could release in the greenhouse. That's a theory I have. Is it gonna work? I don't know. It's still a lot of work, but it looks nice and it doesn't cost me anything, because I just use jars that I find that are not canning jars. Well, I'm gonna go through quickly because I have some angry kids. See, she really did this this planner like in a really wise way. I really love how she did it, like top priorities, etc. It's basically there's calendars, it's an agenda. Can we say that, an agenda in English? I'm not talking like she has an agenda, no. In French, an agenda is a planner, so it's really a planner that I can use for my other things I need to schedule. But she did write all the weeks and the days. This is what convinced me, because you know, when you can see on a packet like takes X amount of days, you can check, oh, this is I planned them on day 114 plus 50 days, whatever. It's easy to calculate. So I really love her channel and her stuff, so I highly suggest you to go and have a look at it. So I'm going to have to end this. I don't want to get out of the sun though. Did you see my beautiful earrings? This is a friend of mine that made them for me and a friend of mine. I'm trying to find, I asked her if she could make some others I could buy to give to another friend as a gift. But I decided to put them on to celebrate this March 1st, the month of spring, the spring months. Oh, I can't wait for spring. We're almost there. So really, thanks for hanging out with me. I really enjoy having you here. It would really mean a lot to me to help me grow if you could comment and subscribe and like the video if you did like. If not, well, you can dislike. Thanks for hanging out with me and see you next time. Bye.